Hello and welcome to Health Talk with Sonia. I'm your host, Sonia Duncombe. Today we're here with Dr. Fred Kaufman. Dr. Fred, could you give us a little background information? I understand you have an interesting story.
Yes, thank you, Sonia. Well, it started out as a child. I realized right away that I had a lot of health problems. I was born with a bad heart. I had a compromised immune system. I had severe allergies, severe asthma. I was sick a lot. By the time I was 8 years old, I had contracted polio. Fortunately, I was miraculously healed. By the time I got into high school, I'd already had a home teacher a full year twice. It was rare for me to go to school for 5 days in a row. So when I got into college then, I was taking 2 shots in each arm twice a week for allergies. After a year, I had enough. It hadn't helped me. I told my doctor, I'm done. He said, well, what are you going to do? This is the best that medical science has to offer. And I said, well, it's not good enough. It's not helping me. So I started then what turned out to be a lifelong journey researching about health and nutrition and how to overcome health problems. Well, guess what? Within just a few short months, I was completely free of all these things that had plagued me for 19 years. Well, this went on for about another 10 years, just studying anything I could get. This was back before the internet and computers, so I had to find books and read things at the library. Well, about 10 years later then, I had an insatiable curiosity about cancer. Didn't know why, had no family history, had never known anyone with cancer. It was a very unusual thing. But I was studying and researching everything I could find about cancer. 5 years later, my mom came home from the Mayo Clinic with the prognosis that she only had a few months to live. And I had just learned enough information to design a protocol that actually helped her to become cancer-free in just a few short months. At the Mayo Clinic, they call her the miracle lady. Nobody survives that kind of cancer the way she did. And she lived cancer-free for about another 30 years.
Wow, that's amazing, Fred. You were able to overcome your own health challenges and you helped your mother. What an amazing blessing.
Thank you.
I wanted to follow up and find out what are some of the basic principles you've learned about overcoming health challenges?
I actually discovered 2 physical laws. These are indisputable, unarguable laws that apply to everything that lives. The first law is that everything that lives has to have the right amount of water. That's every kind of animal, every kind of plant, every kind of insect, even bacteria can only live if they have water. A lot of people are surprised when I say bacteria, but bacteria also have to obey these physical laws. The second physical law is very similar. In order to be healthy, everything that lives has to have the right amount of the right kind of water. So having water keeps you alive, but if you want to be healthy, you have to have the right amount of the right kind of water. So again, this is a physical law. It applies to everyone. Every animal, every kind of plant, every kind of insect, even bacteria. It doesn't matter if you're aware of these laws, you still have to obey them or pay the penalty and suffer the consequences. Let me give you an example, a little story. My father had what's called a Thanksgiving cactus. Now this plant gets its name because every year, right around Thanksgiving, it blooms. No other time of the year. But he had had it for quite a while. It had never bloomed. So he was getting ready to get rid of it, and I said, Dad, I'll take it. I bring it home. I start giving it the right amount of water. Guess what happened right around Thanksgiving? It bloomed for the first time ever. Now, I got married. I had invented a liquid mineral product that you add to water, and my wife, in charge of watering the plants, started putting this liquid mineral product into the water. Guess what happened? This same Thanksgiving cactus now blooms 3 or 4 times a year. If you went anywhere in the country and asked plant experts about this Thanksgiving cactus, they would tell you the same thing. It blooms once a year. That's how it got its name. But that's because all they know is giving it the right amount of water. They don't know what can happen if you give it the right amount of the right kind of water, and that's the difference. So most people are living lives similar to that cactus. They're just surviving. Wouldn't you rather thrive? It all has to do with people not knowing about these physical laws so they know to obey them. I talk to people all the time who ask advice on how they can restore their health. I always ask them the same question: how much and what kind of water do you drink? That's the foundation, so why not start there? You would be surprised how quickly your body can repair itself once it starts getting what it needs to do what it's innately capable of doing, which is to repair and rebuild and even regenerate new cells. The bottom line is this: it's a question. Are we diseased? Are we randomly stricken by disease, or are we deficient? In other words, if we're not randomly stricken by disease, if we're suffering from deficiencies, that's something we can control. Here's another quick example. You've heard of scurvy. Scurvy is a disease. It actually is quite deadly, but we don't hear about it anymore because it was discovered that it's actually a vitamin C deficiency. It's listed in the medical books as a disease, but no antibiotics, no kind of drug can treat scurvy. It's only treated with vitamin C. You can't take vitamin A, you can't take vitamin D. It has to be vitamin C. Once you take vitamin C, the symptoms quickly reverse themselves. So I ask again, is it a disease? I think not. It's a deficiency, and this disease symptoms are merely symptoms of the deficiency. So again, are we diseased or are we deficient? I've seen over the past 23 years enough evidence with people recovering from health problems that most of our health problems, including pain, are the result of deficiencies.
Well, that's fascinating and very enlightening. Thank you, Dr. Fred.
Thank you, Sonia.
To learn more about Dr. Fred's discoveries, just go to the link below this video. Thank you for joining us on Health Talk with Sonia. Stay tuned for more episodes.